Hey, game players, like, look, whatever else we're doing, when it looks like it freezes because you slow the camera down, then people aren't gonna watch it because they're gonna think it froze. They're gonna think it froze, so they just won't watch it. So we'll just try to say it again, and hopefully, like, I don't know what the game is today, but like, I understand why you might be doing it, but I'm saying, like, I mean, see. One African American conservative, if there was a racial dimension to what they were doing. I mean, the idea that you're gonna let a video like that freeze, whatever you think of this psycho, like, you know, your Nazi friend or whatever you call me, like, I mean, but I don't want someone to not. They're gonna. That's to help. I mean, they're gonna not watch the video because it looks like it freezes in the middle. I know. I got a tattoo that looks like it's one. I understand why you might be freezing it. Like a guy with a tattoo for the National Alliance or something, and like he's done now. He's going to talk about racial issues. Well, look, I mean, but to the extent that it would be helpful, it was just that it's a show. Okay, there's one show there's a few shows I watch because they don't bark at each other, and the guy went psycho on the show at the host. Because but I would have loved to see Keisha Rogers on that panel, because what happened is her name is Melissa Harris Perry. Okay, she asked an African American conservative what conservatism is. If Keisha Rogers would have loved to see Keisha Rogers on that, to see what kind of thing she would have torn that guy up. But here's the thing. So she said, like, to him, look. Here's what she said. First, what is conservatism right now as you see it? It's a good question from someone. People call me a right-wing nut and everything's gonna be like Irving Kristol ornaments, all kinds of things. All right, I'm curious too. What are these people? What is he? So he said, he like shouted out a slogan, you know. So he said, what is conservatism at this point? So he to an African American conservative, and he said. And he said very firmly, it means smaller government. She said, okay, look. To start with, you've been coming after the president in a way that's so disrespectful that everybody notices, regardless of where they're at politically. Like you're looking for his birth certificate. You know, you go find he has a long lost uncle that owns a store. But he's from Kenya, you go to look at to see if he's documented. I mean, you're really doing things that are so disrespectful to the president, and then you're saying smaller government. Well, what you've done with this budget deal, right? I mean, you've got this guy Ryan, who's, you know, like. We do. By the way, he's the head of the budget committee, so he's the one who sits down with the two parties on the budget committee. Now we see him he's being interviewed like crazy, walks around, you see these images of him walking with his sleeves rolled up, and he's going to run for president because of this. So they say, look, you blocked the Democratic Party from putting in the budget an extension for unemployment insurance and took away people's food stamps, okay? By the way, as a side, if you see homeless people sleeping in the freezing cold outside a church in your neighborhood, you got to realize, well, now you know why they're there. Ganking people's like unemployment insurance and when there's no work, and taking their food stamps. Okay, now you know why they're there. Freezes right at the main thing. It's just so you shoot yourselves in the foot. That's fine. Enjoy. I mean, I don't know how then that we can't. A person wouldn't watch a video. It looks like it's freezing in the middle. She asked the neighbors, but it's in the business press. I mean, I don't know what people think of me in your game, okay? But I mean, like, you know, maybe they could learn. I mean, I don't know who's in the game. Why am I? Well, do you think I'm a racist because like I read like the Holy Reich and stuff like that? What does that have to do with black people? But I mean, I just am tired of it. It was an interesting thing. Keisha Rogers is an African. This is not off the topic. I don't care what idiots in your thing think of me because I got a tattoo like this and everything. Like, I don't care. Listen, it's something worth noting because she asked an African American conservative, based on what the Republican Party is doing at this time, what is conservatism? Okay, and he said it means we believe in smaller government. So she said, fine, look. One, you're going after the president in these crazy ways, like he's not like looking for his birth certificate. Okay, you made a budget deal like this. It blocked getting unemployment extension for people who are like need that because there's no work and need to go with their food stamps. Okay, and see what she's pointing out is what everybody knows because it's in the business press. Matter of fact, that's what I was saying. Chomsky says that it's not that Chomsky says the same thing. Chomsky's a linguist, but the reason he's thought of as a political, moral, intellectual luminary, what he does is he reports back on what the business press is saying. He reads all the business press and he reports back on what they're saying. And the thing is, right, so she asked the question, which is openly stated in the business press, when different things happen, and they say, oh, the winners of this will be, whatever, finance, and the losers will be minorities, particularly African American people, and single mothers will be harmed. I mean, it's open in the business press what's happening. Yes, this is splitting on class lines. I mean, so she's just asking him, fine, so conservatism is smaller government. Okay, while you're doing this disrespectful thing to the president, you brokered this budget deal to cut spending, and it didn't make a dent in spending, but you've done things that are going to harm a population that's majority of them are African American. So between all this, I'm saying, fine, isn't there a racial dimension to what you're doing, right? But asking an African American conservative, and he went psycho. He actually went psycho on a show where it's like the one type of show where they sit around and talk. The guy went psycho and started abusing her, on the show, just screaming at her because he's defensive. Because, he hasn't read The Thought on Conservatism like your friend here. No, or he doesn't know about the political right and its history and things. No, he's ignorant. But, she asked an African American conservative that question and he went ballistic because it's true. For every reason we just said. But Keisha Rogers would have loved to see her on a panel like that, or a discussion like that. She's an African American woman who's deep in the LaRouche movement, and she ran in Texas on an impeach Obama ticket. They all held up signs that said, because they were gutting NASA, and it said, and they put up a picture of Obama with a Hitler mustache, and they said, Houston, we have a problem. Okay, she's and she talks about looking at all this in the sense we understand Greek tragedy. But here's the thing. This whole thing, right, it was an amazing exchange, and he went ballistic because, right, he's defensive. Right, she said, so there's a racial dimension to what you're doing, and he just went ballistic.